Hey guys, what's up? How ya doing? I'm here to talk to you guys about the new episode of My Hero Academia final season on episode 4 or episode 163 of the total number of episodes of My Hero Academia. This episode here was actually really nice, really awesome. Well, it all depends on your point of view, what you're looking for or what you expect. Other than that, if anything else, let's just get this started right away. The first 13 minutes of this episode involves the origins, or should I say, the backstory of All for One. Well, almost, if anything. So, let's get this started right away. We get to see of how there was a mother who was in a very bad shape, bad physical, healthy shape, ends up having two twins that eventually killed her. Other than that, we get to see the narration of President Mike and how All for One, as a young kid, was killing many people and stealing the quirks, all because he has the right to or he just wants to. And as the episode continues on, there was one person that he would never, abandon or leave behind, and that is his younger brother. Even though, he had nothing to offer, he was still something that he possessed. It was still one of his possessions he considers not to let go of. By that time, when they were growing up, Yoichi and All for One read something about comic books. That's when, 3 years later, All for One goes to Yoichi saying what he did. He did what he did to a person that seems to be having a quirk, etc. But he kills him for it and takes it for his own because he now has a dream of his own and wants to rule the world, and he wants Yoichi to join up with him. Eventually, we all know what happened as time goes on, even though they were young kids after 3 years of past and All for One being a going on demon lord kind of thing. He tries to get Yoichi to join him once more by giving him a quirk. By that time, he ends up seeing Yoichi running away with Kudo, which apparently that's what he calls him, for taking him away. By that time, it looks like All for One killed Yoichi, but he seemed to be very shocked at the action he did because it looked like he didn't want to kill him, but I guess he lost to his own emotions and murdered him out of possessive rage and saying how dare you leave me, I gave you something, you dare to leave me, and etc. Eventually, as the episode continues on, we get to see All for One realizing that Yoichi did have a power within him after studying his hand, and later on realizes that power now must have been in the hands of someone else, and that's when he starts to track him down and tries to take him for his own because he could not get Yoichi to join him in the physical world, and now I guess you could say he's trying to get him to join him in the vestige world, saying that you belong to me now and all that stuff, you're my possession. However, every time he tried to steal Yoichi or take One for All from the other users who had it ended up rejecting him, saying nope, 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 I'm denying you, and that gets up All for One very upset, which I don't blame him for, considering that he's been doing this for years. By that time, because he's been trying to possess One for All, unfortunately, because of that's what led to All Might to finally gotten strong enough to deliver a devastating blow to All for One's body. By that time, we get to see that eventually, because of Kudo being the one that caused all this what's the word, trouble to begin with, that's when All for One decided to kill anyone who is related to him in any way, whether it's because they are in contact with him or friendship. You get the idea. Anyone who is related to Kudo, he annihilated, possibly to make sure his bloodlines is truly exterminated because of how they are. Other than that, as the episode continues on, we go back to present time where All for One decides to do some crazy all-out quirk mixture factor to try to end the fight, try to kill Bakugo and get to Tomura and transfer himself there. However, Bakugo, the ever more prodigy combat explosion quirk user, actually had something up his sleeve. He actually had some explosive sweat palm glands, sweat right inside of All for One's mouth somehow, Like he mentions of how like he had explosive sweat drops coated in normal sweat, and when he launched it over there, it delayed the freaking explosion thing, the explosive attacks. By that time, that's when Bakugo launching his powerful like howitzer impact and ends up beating the heck out All For One. All For One realizes something is wrong, realizing that his quirks are not listening to him. By that time, in the Vestige world, we get to see Hawk's quirks Vestige actually having a meetup fan and says, "Hey man, you got you lost control of your emotions. You got swallowed up by Shigaraki. So sucks to be you." Blah. And by that time, that's when All For One finally gets beaten to a point that he became an infant. Bakugo, on the other hand, was going to leave him after seeing him like that, but he really realizes that he needs a perfect victory, and All For One baby ends up launching a powerful attack at him, but Bakugo managed to block it or grab it with his teeth and blow it up and says, "Good night, All For One." And then by that time, All For One, who is a baby, ends up losing control of his emotions and ends up disappearing entirely and ceasing to exist. By that time, Bakugo wanted to do that hand stance of what All Might did, but unfortunately, comedically, well, depending on what you're looking for, does not happen. Falls to the ground, and he encourages Izuku to go beat down Shigaraki, and as he raises his fist in the air. Preview of next episode. Looks like to me things are about to get crazy because it's called History's Greatest Villain. So looks like to me the fight is not over and it's about to get very hectic for everybody for everybody around the world, because we'll see. So until then, I'll see you guys later. I'm off Zero. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time. All right. Peace out. Bye bye. Ta-da!